There, you guys. Today we are going to do some daily planning. It's the new year. It's a really fun time to get into daily planning. So I just thought I would hop on today and show you some of the tips and tricks that I have. I have a couple of my daily planners here, and I do a couple of different things when it comes to my planning that I think is really important and helpful for those of you who are trying to reach those New Year's goals. Okay. So I hope that this is really helpful, and we're going to kind of dig in. So the first thing is I am going to show you these planners. However, you don't have to use my planners. Okay. For years I used a spiral bound notebook, so it's not that you necessarily have to use these planners. If you are looking for these planners and you like my system and you like the way this works, you absolutely can get them on Amazon. So we've tried to make it really easy for people. There are multiple styles. You can see a couple of them here. And then the second book series that we have on Amazon is called the Design Suite Possibilities Journals. These have also been awesome. I just got back from Hawaii. I went to Maui with my husband, and we did our couples annual planning, and we used these. So I'm going to show you a little bit on those two. There's multiple styles on this. Here, I'll show it to you guys. Have a couple more here in the kitchen. So here are a couple of different styles. There's like a light blue one that my husband ended up using. My girls, there's a light blue one and this pink one that they'll use, which is really, really fun. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of things with that. So let's first talk about daily planning. So I like a mix of physical and digital planning when it comes to calendars. My life is a little nutty because I own a university and because I own a program, and then I also run my own design businesses. So there's a lot of things going on. And then on top of that, I have family, right? Most of us who have kids or we have aging parents or all those things, we kind of have to schedule in everything in our lives. So I have a digital calendar that we use as a team, Google Calendars. I used to use iCalendar, but it was very difficult to get it synced to everybody's calendars. So our entire team moved to iCalendar. For the university, we are moving towards Populi, which is what we use for our LMS system and our SIS system. And so all of our students use Populi, but our main company calendar is in Google Calendar, which is nice because everybody can see all the different calendars we have going on. In that, I block all of my time, okay, which is really incredible. It makes sure that I can kind of see ahead of time, see all the things I need to do. But on top of knowing everything that's going to happen in the next 6 months, year of my life, I find that actually writing things down, that usage of my brain to the writing really helps me stick to the things that I am planning on doing. So because of that, I do 3 things in my daily planning, okay? The first is that I do a gratitude practice. You don't have to do this. It's just something that really helps me get started with my day. I write 3 things that I'm very grateful for that are very specific. So it's not just generally I'm grateful for my family. It's usually something like I'm grateful I got to walk Thunder, who's our dog, who's currently outside, might make me bring him back in here in a second. I got to walk Thunder today. Or I loved my dinner date with my husband last night, or whatever it is. So it's very, very specific, okay? So I do those 3 things. The second thing I do in the morning is I do what's called dream planning. Now, dream planning is not something I came up with, but I do it a little different than all the ways I've seen out there being done. So what I do is I write down 10 things that I would like to have happen in the next 10 years. Now, these are not set up like goals. They are set up like almost manifestations. So it's a little bit different. And you'll see that I set up my books to reflect this, okay? Because I'm telling you the 3 things I do. I do a gratitude practice. I do a dream planning. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. And then I do task planning, okay? Or daily date planning, okay? So the reason we've set up the daily plan, because I built this for my designers in the hopes that they would take up a methodology similar to this. I don't really believe that any one person has the perfect planning system. I think everybody needs a different planning system that works for them. And that's why I've kept this book very open. Because I really want, if you have ADHD, your brain might work a little bit differently than me. If you are, like you like to plan a certain way, your brain is going to work a little different than mine. So that's why I always say I like the combination of handwritten and digital, because that really works very nicely. So you'll see what we've done is there is a calendar page with empty spots. I will tell you what I do with these empty spots. My main thing is I believe there should be a priority for the month. And when I say a priority, I really mean just one thing that has to happen during that month. So in January, I have to finish X, Y, and Z. These are the big things that I need to have happen to move my university, to my companies, whatever needs to happen. I have one big thing. And then I kind of lay out the rest of the month. Then after that, there are 31 pages of lines. Now the lines are set up very specifically so that you have a section up here. You have a section right here with boxes next to them. You have a section right here, and then you have a section at the bottom. There are 5 specific sections so that you can think of how you would want to do it. But I will tell you how I use it. I have some more possibility journal and daily plan videos if you want to go check those out. That tells you other ways you could possibly do this. But I will tell you what has worked really nicely for me. So I always put the day, and I always put like the day, like it's Tuesday or it's Sunday or whatever. And then I put the date up here. This was meant to be like I could put the date in. I don't really use it that much, I will admit. Okay. This is where I put my gratitude practice. You can see there are 3 lines here. I tend to run over those 3 lines, but that's where I put my gratitude practice. So it's like beginning of the day, I get it done first. I've also seen some of my designers use this for priorities. So if they're very excited about like that priority for the day, the number one thing they've got to get done, they'll put it into this spot. Okay, so that's another good thing, or you could put it here if you wanted to. Then I do my dream planning. That happens on this right here. See that row? It's not numbered. There's nothing there. All my dream planning goes here. And then my task planning goes here. Okay. So, and then all my extra little notes from the day, they end up down here. Okay. All right. So let me tell you what happens for dream planning. So dream planning is set up. These are the 10 things I'd like to accomplish in the next 10 years. I don't remember who said it. I think it was, I'm going to say it's Bill Gates, but basically said that you accomplish less in a single year than you think you're going to accomplish, and more in 10 years than you ever thought you were going to accomplish. So that's the whole idea around this. I am very goal centric. And if you're very goal centric, you'll know this. Like I almost set them up so that they're not like goals. They're just like, these are my big dreams that I want to have happen in my life. And here's the crazy thing. Very often these dreams happen faster and sooner than those 10 years. And I've seen it over and over and over again. I used to be kind of like, this is a little woo-woo. I'm not sure if this is for me. You guys, it totally works because your brain is trying to wire together what you're actually writing down every day. And you're trying to find the ways so that your daily tasks really reflect what you really want to have happen in your life. So dream planning works like this. When you write it down, it has to be specific, so measurable, right? And the second thing is it has to be written in present or past tense, like it's already happened. So you might say, I want a design business, okay? So that's a really terrible way to say it or put it into your dream plan. I want a design business. It really showcases your desire for something, but doesn't actually make it so that you're going to get the thing, right? It just, you're telling yourself and your brain that you want something. That's nice, but what I like to do is instead, let's put it in present tense, and then let's make it measurable. So I have, not I want, I have a design business, and you could technically stop there, or you could say, I have a design business that makes $10,000 a year, which is much better because it's far more measurable, right? Like if I can say, I have a design business that makes $10,000 a year, $3,000 a year, like, or a month. Sorry, I said a year. I meant a month. If you want to say like those specific things, which you guys, those are very like easy things that I've written into my list and far exceeded as a designer. What I really like to do is make it super measurable. So if I say I have a design business that makes $20,000 a month, right? then I've got it measurable, I've got it written down, and I also relieve myself of the pressure of making sure that I hit that at that moment. Instead, what happens is you're going to see this when we start talking about daily planning here in a second. What you're going to see is that your brain starts to really think about like, how is this going to happen? And you'll kind of see your daily activities reflect the things that you have happen on your dream planning. Now, I gave you a very like work focus centric, example there, but these can be really good for family life. So one of the things that I write is I am extremely close to, and then I write down the 4 members of my family, my husband and my 3 kids, and I write down all of their names. Now, you'll notice I say it in a very present tense. Why? Because I can be very extremely close to my children, my husband today, right? And so what it does is it's a reminder that this is something I really want in my life. It's part of my dream planning. And ironically, it then also reminds me, hey, Karina, be done with work at this moment and go hang out with your kids or your husband or whatever that you're planning on doing. I write really crazy things in there. Ironically, I don't think I ever put into my dream planning, I own a university. But the thing about dream planning is that it makes you think much bigger than you ever thought you would think, okay? I have big expectations for my students at the university. I have big expectations for my members in Design Suite. And a lot of that is because I have big expectations for myself. And so because I am always like, hey, what are some things that Karina you could do that would really feel like it would maybe be hard, maybe be a little exciting. It really helps that I do those things. And then hopefully I'm modeling that for my children and for my members and students, because I really want them to be winning as well. Okay. All right. So we talked about the top areas, kind of how I'm using them. So thankful, dream planning, right along there. I usually like 10, but sometimes I only do 6 or 8, and they can change. Like, so every day you don't have to write the same thing. I will say I like writing the same things every day, and I get to a rhythm, and then something will happen 6 months down the road and I will write totally different things, or I'll add things. So don't feel like you are stuck with these 10 things. Like, they can change on a daily basis if you want to. It's like kind of like feeling out what feels really good to you. Okay. All right. So our last section is what I call task planning. So I do block off my day. There's a fantastic planner out there. I really love her, Megan. I'm trying to think what her feed is. Pink Bee. Okay. If you guys want to go see her, she has her own planning system and she teaches time blocking. She's really brilliant. So Pink Bee is the name of it. It's totally different system than my system because I'm really into daily planning. She does weekly, monthly planning. It's really, really fantastic. I do a lot of that digitally, and I like Megan's system for that. And so what I'm talking about here is taking that daily plan that you've built from your digital and writing it down and putting in times over here on the side. Now, one of the things I really dislike, and this is why this planner works really nicely for this, and it works very specifically for designers and artists, is on a lot of planners, what you'll see is 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, right? I don't block my time that way. I just don't. I do on a digital planner, but I don't in my daily planner. Instead, I like all these tiny little deadlines during my day to get everything done that I need to get done. So for example, let's say today is a design day for me and I need to build multiple SVGs. I was like, do I have any SVGs? I think they're all in the back right now. So maybe I need multiple SVGs and I'm going to do a set of 10 cards today. Like, I got to finish 10 SVG die cut cards today that I'm going to sell. Okay. Those cards, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put a big block of 5 hours to finish all of those cards. No. I'm going to break down all of my activities. Well, I know it takes me about 30 minutes to design one of these cards. So at 8 o'clock, I'm going to put design card 1. At 8:30, I'm going to put design card 2. Okay. Now, maybe I know I'm going to have breakfast, or I need a break, or I have a meeting at 9 o'clock. Okay. So it's like 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, I have a 15-minute meeting. Okay. So 9 to 9:15, I have a 15-minute meeting. Then I start the next time area as 9:15, and I move on from there. So what I've done is my day doesn't look perfectly spaced out. And that's what you see in a lot of planners. Mine doesn't look that way. Mine looks crazy. Mine is like deadlines. Like at 9 o'clock, I'm doing this. At 9:15, I'm doing this. At 9:45, I'm doing this. At 10 o'clock, I'm doing this. And I keep myself on a schedule. Now, I just told you, I gave you 15-minute increments. That's a little bit tight for most people. And you're probably not doing that for your whole day. I'm not doing that for my whole day. I might be like, I have a 1 hour meeting here, and then I have a 30-minute thing here, and then I have another 30-minute thing here, and then I have a 15-minute thing here, right? And so, but the more you break it up into individual pieces, the more you will get done. You know, I hear a lot of talk about productivity. How do we become more productive during our day? And I get a lot of things done in my day. I really do. And a lot of it has to do with the way that I plan. It's because I am deadline based in my day, not deadline based in the future. So that means like, you know, in my long-term future. Instead, I'm deadline based. Like today, I have to finish writing this particular thing for the university. I have to write this policy and I need to have it done in 2 hours. And by doing that, it really forces me to get done the things that I really need to get done. Okay. So I do love my system for this reason, because you will see that you're able to get priorities or gratitude done here, dream planning here, task planning done here, and then any extra things that you're thinking about can go right here. The reason I love dream planning to sit next to task planning, because this wasn't always the case for me. I used to always put my task planning or my dream planning separate. I would just do it in another journal. I started doing it right next to it. And the reason is because I found I was more likely to accomplish things on my task when I could see my dreams right next to it. It's a motivator. That's all it is. It's a motivator to make sure that I get it done. That's really fascinating, right? The idea that we can motivate ourselves to get done the dreary things on our list, because guess what? Writing policy for the university as a designer is probably like one of my 7 layers of hell, okay? Like I don't want to be writing policy. I want to be designing, or I want to be teaching design. However, when I see on this list the things that I want to have accomplished for my university, things that we're planning on doing, programs that we're aspiring to, and all of those things, I know that things on this side have to happen to make this side work. And that's a really magical thing when you think about it, and really one of the best things about planning and making sure that your planning is working really nicely for you. If you're looking for the Design Suite Daily Planner, these are available on Amazon. There are lots of different styles. Even my kids use it. My college kids use it, which is pretty awesome. Lots of my designers use it. My creative entrepreneur mastermind groups use it. So I really think this is a really fun way. It is set up for 360. So right now is a great time to do it. I have started it in the middle of the year, but if you want to have a full year, then here's the other thing that's amazing about this. So I actually keep this and I throw in phone numbers I need, networking things I need, whatever. And this is almost like a journal of my life. Like I can look back and be like, these were the things I was dreaming about at this time, and these were the things I was working on. That it's such an incredible thing. So they're hardbound. They're absolutely beautiful. The way they're set up is really nice. This is the one I'm actually working on right now. This is my second one I've been working on. I've got my annual report and stuff. And let's just see if I can show you. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I'm going to show you guys Fridays. This is right after Christmas. Okay. So I don't have a crazy full day, but you can see here, I didn't start the day until 11:25. Where I had a planning session with myself because it was the day after Christmas and I had kid stuff in the morning and all that other stuff. At 11:45, video Nutcracker. So that means I was actually doing my Instagram for, what was I doing? Short form video for February. That's what I was working on. And so I'm showing you like the content I was creating during that time. So video 1, 12 o'clock was video 2. At 12:30 was video 3. At 1 o'clock was video 4. And I have a little notation next to it, like what I was going to do. At 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then 2:30, I have an edit of what needs to be done. I do have a longer time period there, and it was kind of my end of day. I did have a couple of things that I didn't put on a timeline that was like, hey, these are end of the day things. And these are things also that I can do while we watch Stranger Things, because as you guys know, we're a few days away from the finale, and my husband and my one of my kids, we've been like binge watching the whole thing all the way through. And so I was like, these are things I can get done while we're watching our TV show. So I'll kind of leave a couple of like, I would say like logistical type things that are easy to do. Last night, I was in Populi, which is our SIS and LMS software for the university. So if you're at the university, you'll know it because you are using it all the time. But one of the things I did was Asia on my team she's our academic advisor. She had built all these beautiful icons with the university logo for all the courses. And so I just went in and I put in all of those different icons directly into those courses. So that was like one of the things I did while I was watching a show. And sometimes I'll add that into the list. Okay. All right. So that's daily planning for you. Last but not least, I want to talk about these design possibility journals. There are several different designs available. And by the way, if you're just like, you just want to see all the books that I have because we just recently came out with the Intentional Design Year as well. You can go to karinagardner.com/books. So karinagardner.com/books, and you can see all the different books that I have available. It'll link you to more designs and different designs. Okay. So this book is set up into 3 sections. I love 3 sections, if you can't tell. The first section is prompts. So what you'll see here is questions, like some kind of overall topic, and then questions to help you guide you. By the way, I didn't do these in order in my own book. I think I jumped to, in fact, I'm sure of it. This is my actual book that I'm using. I jumped directly into, harnessing creativity. Okay. So the harnessing creativity is on page 30. You can see my book is like filled up. So page 30 on here, I'm just going to show it to you. I mean, I'm sure you guys would love to see my harnessing creativity. I'm not sharing it. Anyway, so I started on this page, harnessing creativity, and I just started writing down these things. It made me realize there were certain things I haven't been doing in my life that I really love to do, and I would like to incorporate more. One of them was cooking. And like I put on my bucket list this random thing. My husband was laughing because I was like, I would like to learn how to can. I canned with my mom when I was a kid, and I just can't totally remember how to do it. And I would like to be really good at it. And so canning got put onto my bucket list. Okay, so the first thing was like just filling these out will give you ideas for the next section. Okay, and there are 40 plus pages of prompts and questions that will help you kind of like harness that creativity, try to figure out what's best for you. The second section is the bucket list section, and there are 120 places. I think my husband and I, when we were into Maui, one of the things we did was the bucket list. And in this bucket list, we really spent a lot of time like figuring out what we wanted to do individually and things that we wanted to do together, which is really fun. If you want to tell me in the chat, I'm happy to share a couple of these bucket list items for you. Some of them are so silly, you guys, but some of them I think could be really, really fun. So, and then there's a third section in this book, and it's just journaling pages. I'm so grateful I put this in here because as I've been using it myself, we use these open pages all the time. So we've done a few different things. Like one of the things I did was, so one of my bucket list items, you guys, is to visit all 50 states. And I used one of these pages. I don't want to show you the whole thing, but like here, you can see this maybe. One of these pages has like 40, I've gotten to 40 of the 50 states. So it was just kind of like a documentation area of things I really wanted to do. So that was kind of fun, right? My bucket list area, so like visit all 50 states. I've got like 10 states left. My husband now knows about it. It's like something that we can work towards. He has more states than I do to go to because I travel a lot more for work and stuff. I put all kinds of amazing things in my bucket list. I'm really excited about it. I mean, some of them are travel. In fact, there's a lot of travel ones. This semester, we have our Masters of Fine Arts students are doing their Accumulating Studio project. I did not an MFA, I did a PhD, I did an MA. So I did my Master's of Arts in design. And so there was I did a huge thesis, but it was research-based because it was a research-based university. I was at the University of Minnesota. And I did T-tests on short-term memory and design and logo design. And then I followed that through in my doctorate and did a much larger study for that and ran several different variables for it. So I did a ton of research. So I never got to do like what I would call like a big art project. And when I say big art project, I mean really big art project. In fact, we're probably going to let people see like the precursors to those projects. We're hoping to show those presentations on our YouTube channel at the university. Okay, so you'll see that at some point. So anyway, I put in this list like all kinds of big art projects, like accumulating projects. So like one of the things I put was go on a sketch or paint trip where I create an entire portfolio from a trip. I think that would be really fun. I put on my list learn how to can fruits and vegetables because I was just like, I think that would be a great skill to have. And you guys know I'm a crafter, so I just think that would be really, really fun. I also put on my list, and my husband was like, yeah, I am not doing that. I would really love to cook every dish in a single cookbook. I don't know what that cookbook's going to be. I'm sure it's probably going to be like an Ina Gartner because I have a ton of her books. I love her stuff. And she has a great memoir out you guys should read. But cook every dish in a single cookbook. I just think it's fun way to do things. I wrote down things like sleep in a historic castle. I just think that would be really fun. Create a giant haunted house village out of paper. Maybe out of laser. I'm going to put like, maybe it's like corollary. I might do that out of laser. And just a bunch of other things. Visit all the aquariums that have whale sharks in them. That's really, my daughter loves whale sharks, and we've been to Georgia and went to one in Japan, and there are 2 more in Japan. And so I just think that would be really fun. I think as the new year gets started, you guys, and as you're kind of getting going, like you're getting started with your year, trying to figure out what you want to do as we move forward, I want to say this: dream big. Think of all the amazing things you want to do. And the reason I can tell you to dream big is because I know that on the opposite end of it, you're going to plan and task plan so that those big dreams come true. And that's one of the things I think a lot of times when we hear people talk about dreaming really big and doing really big things, one of the issues is that we don't dig in to the reality piece because we're just so busy dreaming big. I want to design for Target, or I want to design for X, Y, and Z. So go ahead and write those things down. But then if we daily plan next to that and kind of figure out what that looks like, the cool thing is that you'll slowly but surely figure out what it is you really want to do, because my dreams have changed all the time, and also where you're guided to go. And I think that really happens when we write those things down. I think we can have really wonderful things in our heads that we kind of hold there, that it's exciting to hold there and nobody knows about. But there's a lot of studies done on writing things down. When we write things down, there's some crazy stat, and I'm not going to give you the percentage, but there's a high percentage of people who actually complete the things that they write down. If you write down your goals, you're more likely by some crazy percentage to actually accomplish that. And that's really what I'm encouraging you to do here, whether you're using my books or you're just starting the new year wonderfully and trying to think of wonderful things that you can do for yourself. I'm going to tell you this: write it down. Absolutely write it down, because the more we write down things, the more we kind of push forward, the more we have intention in our life. And I'm going to end it with this. Okay. So this book just barely came out. It's available also on Amazon. I have a free gift for those of you who want to just read it for the fun of it or kind of look through it. It's called The Intentional Design Year. I have a 1-month free access. All you have to do is go to designsuitecourses.com/intentional. I try to do lots of free things for you guys so that you can get going, right? So if you are interested in making an intentional year, go check that out. It's just 1 month free access. So you can read it. One of the things that I like to teach is that winning happens intentionally. It is not by luck. You don't get discovered. Someone isn't just going to find you on the internet and you're going to be like chosen. We have to actually do the work to create design businesses, to create a design life, to create an intentional life. You want to go this year to Maui? Is it on your docket? Have you planned for it? Have you saved the money for it? Like, planning really makes a huge difference to all of us who are trying to build businesses, who are trying to build these intentional lives. That's part of the reason I wrote this book, because I really wanted it to help people in a daily way make something better for themselves. So if you are loving design business, you want to learn more about becoming a designer and artist that sells their work, you're super creative and you're trying to figure out new things, I have 2 things you can do if you want to come hang out with me. The first one is you can come to a design boot camp. At Design Boot Camp, you can join like at an ultimate all low time price right now. Our next coming up, because I'm doing this live, is January 5th. I will go live every day and answer questions and talk about design, and you will be very inspired about what you can do with your life if you want something creative and learn how to, make profitable business for yourself. Okay. That's at designsweetcourses.com/design bootcamp. The second thing you can do, if you don't want to go to design boot camp and you're just like, you know what, I know I would like to get a degree. Right now, the University of Arts and Design is only in 19 states, okay, because we follow state and federal laws. And the University of Arts and Design can be found at uad.education. Right now, we do 2 master's degrees, a master's degree in design business and a master's of fine arts in digital design. We also have a design certificate that's for our undergraduate. So you have to have a high school diploma to do that. And that's an undergraduate degree, certificate. We actually have 4 certificates. We have a surface pattern certificate. We have a digital mastery certificate. We have a digital production certificate, and then an art and design business certificate. And if you want to explore that, those certificates are really incredible and will get you quite a ways as well. Our master's degrees are very popular. If you have a bachelor's degree in anything, we have some prerequisites courses you could take so that you can do a degree in design, which is pretty incredible. That's kind of what I did for my master's and my PhD, because my undergrad was in something totally different. So we've tried to make it very accessible for people. If you want to come and check us out at the university, tuition, everything that we're doing, why we're doing it, student work, tons of student work in the student gallery to see what you will accomplish. All you have to do is go to uad.education, uad.education. So we're really, really excited about the upcoming year. Spring 1 starts January 12th. We have a great, oh my gosh, all the stuff we're doing this semester, so fun. The MFA students are working on new stuff. The MA students are kind of halfway there. A lot of them are starting their capstones, which is really fun. And then our design certificates, we have several of those. They're right into semester 2. So it's going to be a really good year, you guys. It's going to be a great year. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope I see you guys all very soon. And I hope I see you in a design boot camp or at the university. Bye, guys.